You know, this is Alec Peirce, by the way. Scuba tech tips. You know, about 100 years ago, I used to do a lot of diving. I dove by myself a great deal. In the 50s and 60s, there weren't very many divers around. So if I wanted to go scuba diving, there was nobody to go. In most cases, I'd dive by myself. And then, after a couple of years, a very, very good friend of mine, Dave is his first name, became a scuba diver too. And it was fantastic. We had so much fun together, and I was able to take him to all the neat places I discovered, and he enjoyed scuba, and we had a great time together. And my point to that is that over a period of time, because I didn't dive with anybody else, there was nobody else. So Dave and I dove, and we everywhere. Dave and I went everywhere together, literally. And we became very comfortable with each other. Yeah, and it was fantastic. We dove the same buddy all the time, and a lot of you divers do that. I'm sure you do. Whether you're a couple or friends or whatever it happens to be, you know, you find somebody who's a good dive buddy that you're comfortable with. You like diving with them, so guess what? You go diving with them. You know, it's not quite so comfortable if you're on a dive boat and you're single and you get paired up with somebody else who you don't know and they seem okay, but you don't know, and for a little while you're kind of nervous. My point to all this is that if you are diving with the same diver all the time, you become very comfortable, you know what to expect, and so there's nothing untoward ever happens. You don't bump into each other anymore. You don't do something silly with respect to the gear or anything else. It makes for a nice, smooth, really enjoyable dive. What are the components that make a dive comfortable with a buddy? What are the things that you do? Now, if you think consciously about these things that are important underwater, then if you are with your regular buddy, or if you're paired up with a buddy you don't know, then these things will make you a good dive buddy. What are the kind of things you should do underwater? I guess you would call it underwater etiquette. Underwater etiquette. You don't need to say scuba or diving because it's underwater. Underwater etiquette. What are the good things you do? Well, there are several things that you can do. Let me give you a couple of simple examples. First of all, my dear wife Diane and I have been diving together for a long time, 35 years or more diving. And generally, when we first get into the water, of course, the usual, you enter the water and signal everything's okay. We slowly descend, staying together as much as we can, and we get to the depth we've decided on, whether it's the bottom or a depth. And we take a moment to make sure all of our gear is good. I watch her and she watches me as we adjust things to make sure everything's good. And then we say, okay, let's go this way, whatever. Off we go. Well, one of the things that we have learned is really, really nice is to simply stay on the same side of each other. So normally Diana is on my right side. So Diana is swimming along like this, along the reef, up, down, whatever, or the shipwreck, and I stay on her left-hand side. And I just stay there. You know, sometimes she or myself, but let's use her as an example. Sometimes she'll see something and it's over there, so she'll turn like this. Well, I have to speed up a little bit so I can stay on her left side. I don't crisscross underneath and pop up on her right-hand side. She's not expecting that. You see, and it's very nice. Why is it nice? Well, first of all, your dive buddy will always know where you are, or you will always know where your dive buddy is, obviously. But also, she has found, and we've talked about this, she has found as we're swimming along, exploring the reef, that every once in a while she wants to check on me. Not so much as she should maybe, but every once in a while she wants to check on me. So she just looks over like this on her shoulders. Like, there I am. Off I go. It's like checking over your shoulder when you're making a left turn in the car. You don't actually look over and see who's driving the car or car there. You just glance, yep, there's a car there or not. And it's the same thing. She was swimming along and I wonder how Alec is. Oh, there he is. He's fine. Off we go. It's very nice. When that, suppose she's swimming along and she wants to check on me. Where is he? Oh, there he is over there. What you see? It can disrupt the dive a little bit. So that is one little piece, and you probably don't think about this, maybe you do, of etiquette, underwater etiquette. Now the same applies for this as well. Yeah, suppose the reef is at 35 feet, so you're finning along, exploring the reef at 30 feet, you know, just off the bottom, off the coral, swimming along, and you're swimming along, and there's your dive buddy, and there's your dive buddy, and there's your dive buddy, and oh, where is he? And you look all, and you can't see him. That can be really upsetting. You look all around. As far as you can see, you can't see him. There's no bubbles. Where's my dive buddy gone, huh? So then you look up to see the boat, and maybe he's gone up to the boat. You look, there's your dive buddy above you, 5 feet above you. You can't see him by looking around, and there he is just above you. So it's also another small thing. Keep it the same depth, if you possibly can. Now, obviously there are rules that may govern this, but if you're swimming and enjoying the reef, stay on the same side of each other, stay the same depth. Simple thing. Now, a couple more like that. keep an eye on your buddy's gear. Okay? Many, many times I've been diving with divers, often new divers, but not necessarily. Sometimes even experienced divers have small problems with their equipment. The last few years, Diane and I have rented equipment occasionally because we're not doing a lot of diving on a trip. We just want to make 1 or 2 dives, and the trip is maybe 2 or 3 weeks long. It doesn't make sense to take all of our gear, so sometimes we'll rent. We'll always rent the tank, sometimes the BC. And you may have experienced this. Occasionally the BC strap, the tank band, will come loose, and the tank will start to slip out. Now these days it's not quite as bad because there are straps to hold it there. In the old days the tank would fall, gone, rip the rag out of your mouth, and it was not so much these days, but still, keep an eye on your, when you look over at your dive buddy, just a quick check. Just a quick look, oh, everything looks good. And if they're doing the same thing, again, what do you get? Well, you get a real nice, comfortable, safe, enjoyable dive. That's what you get. That is the whole idea, right? So keeping an eye on your buddy's dive gear is a good idea too. Now, let me point out something else, and this may be obvious. If you've ever taken a night diving course, then you know about this. So you've got a dive light, good dive light. This is a good dive light. This is from Big Blue. I like Big Blue. They make fantastic lights. I'm not sure if every dive store carries them, but they should do. Big Blue dive lights. Not hard to remember. Big Blue dive lights. Anyway, they make great products. So here's your dive light, and you're going along, and maybe it's a night dive. Maybe it's a daytime dive. It doesn't matter. Daytime or night, doesn't matter. You've got your light because you're checking under the rocks and looking for neat little stuff. And your buddy comes swimming over. So what do? Exactly. You enjoyed that, didn't you? Your buddy comes swimming over. If it's a night dive in particular, that can be terrible because for a few moments, not just instantly, but for a few seconds, even after you've shined it in their eyes accidentally, they can't see it. What's going on? It could actually be dangerous. Not likely too dangerous, but try to think of that. So what do you do with your dive light when your buddy comes over? Well, here's what you do. You shine it on your face, not in your eyes, but on your, hi, what's up? And your buddy does the same thing. So now you can look at your buddy and you can see what his eyes or her mouth is doing and signals. You can see their signals. And she can, okay, yeah, lots of air. See, here's my pressure gauge. So a small thing, isn't it? It's a small thing, but it can be really, really important. Think about the next time you're on a night dive or you're using a dive light, that you be careful you shine the dive light on your face, not in your buddy's face when you're swimming underwater. It can be it can be an important thing. Underwater, again, I've seen this many, many times, particularly in a group dive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 divers on a dive boat, and there's usually a dive master up front, maybe 50, 60 feet ahead, and buddy pairs, and they're straggling back. Usually I like to be at the very back of the pack. There's no way you're going to be at the front of the pack as people keep trying to get ahead of you, so you usually stay back at the back of the pack. You can watch the whole group, you can keep up, you can relax, you can do whatever you want, take your time. But regardless, sometimes it'd be something interesting. Maybe the dive master spots a moray eel, or he spots a seahorse. Not that common. And he makes a signal, and the divers come over, and a couple of divers come over, and 2 or 3 more, and pretty soon there's a little seahorse like this. That's a big seahorse, actually. A seahorse, and there's 8, 9, 10 divers. Oh, someone around it. And you come swimming up, you want to take a look, and what do you get to see? Fins. That's all you get to see. And you come in, but they're all there. And they can't take a look and enjoy it for a few minutes, then get out of the way so the other divers can enjoy it. They hog the things underwater. Try not to be a hog, an underwater hog. There are other divers in the dive boat, pay the same as you, trying to have the same fun as you, and let them do it. And one last one, and this one can be important. This can be a safety issue. The dive is over, okay? You've come up to the surface, come up to 15 feet, and you're all there doing a great job of hovering, whether you're on a line or just able to hover at 15 feet for your 3-minute safety stop, and then slowly the buddy pairs peel off and head towards the ladder. Some divers are quick up the ladder, fins up they go. Some divers are much, much slower. Doesn't matter, that's the way it is. You know, if you're a good diver, you just accept that fact. Not everybody is as quick as you or as slow as you, and you just put up with that. So when you get to the ladder and you want to go up, if there's a diver or 2 divers ahead of you, don't crowd in right behind them. Stay back a little bit. Most dive boats will have other lines that you can hang on to, the side of the boat or a rope hanging there. Just relax for a few minutes. You're at the surface, there's no danger, and wait till the divers get out of the way. And on the other hand, the diver that's on the ladder, whether you're quick or you're slow, Once you get ready and up that ladder, get up the ladder quickly. Don't stop on the bottom step and start describing all the fish you saw. There's other divers behind you. I've seen it happen so many times. The diver's standing on the bottom rung. There's 6 more divers trying to get in there, and he's saying, "Wow, what a great dive! I really enjoyed it." You know, no, get up the ladder, get on the boat, so the rest can get up there too. Okay, and that's the last one, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's it. I mentioned the lights. And the point is, the more you dive, the more experience you get, the more you will experience these things, okay? And you become a better diver and a better buddy. Share it. Share it with other dive buddies. If you act good etiquette, good manners, good dive skills towards them, then they will learn as well. And it makes the whole sport that much more enjoyable. I don't know if that was of any benefit to you. Maybe it made you think of some stuff you've thought of but haven't really coalesced in your mind. Maybe that helps a little bit. Dive etiquette underwater. Think about it. Make the diving a lot more enjoyable. Okay, I'll talk to you again real soon. I have lots more tech tips of different sorts. Gear service is coming up. More on dry suits. We'll talk to you soon. Alec, Peirce.